Okay, good. It's not so bad. Once you get the idea, you can easily find what the parts of the sentences are. Now, usually as suggested, start with the verb. Find what the verb is, and the rest of this sentence seems to sort of fall into place in terms of its connections and its parts. Now, the 2% model. The 2% model is what we'll look at now, and this is really easy because all this is where we just have a subject, a verb, and a complement. There is no auxiliary. In this case, the verb functions like an auxiliary, and this is for the case of the verb to be, if I'm speaking in a present tense or in a simple past tense. Now, I really have to stress at this point, this is for North American English, Canadian, American form of English speaking. In other countries, there might be some differences or some little deviations from this form, but we're going to focus on the North American style here. If you're really interested, you can go to my blog page on my website and we can take a look and we can discuss and I can explain it to you. I'll probably leave a posting up there anyway so that you can take a look and see. Alright, so here it is, the 2% model.
So, the basic sentence structure for the 2% model is easy. The subjects, they are the same like before. We have the pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. We have the other forms, the common nouns, the proper nouns, possessive pronouns, gerunds, just like before. Then after this, we have the use of the verb to be. And the verb to be we have to use in the present or the past. So if it's going to be I, it'll be I am or I was. We, you, or they, we are, or we were. For the past, he, she, it, is, and was. With the other forms of the subject, we have to use the right form of be. Finally, the complement. The complement is again, just like before, the answer to the appropriate question that you want to use. Who or what, where, when, why, which, whose, etc., etc. And that is your basic sentence structure using the verb to be in present or past tense.
Basic, huh? I know. Not much of a challenge. I know. That's good news. Let's take a look at some examples and just cut these sentences up into little pieces to see how that works. Pretty simple.
So the general sentence structure for 2% is just subject, verb, complement. And it's the verb to be in the present or past tense. Look at the sentences. I am in the classroom, or the contraction I'm. She is a young girl, she's. They are here, there. You're a student, you are, your. Notice the construction for the subject, verb, and complement, and the negative form, just using the verb be.
Alright, in this video, we've looked at the general sentence structure. We've looked at the two types of the general sentence structure. We've looked at the 98% model, where we have a subject, an auxiliary, a verb, and a complement. And we looked at some examples of how we sort of construct these sentences together. Then we looked at the 2% model. This is using just a subject, a verb, and a complement, where the verb functions like an auxiliary and a verb at the same time. It's multitasking. And this is for the verb to be in North American English. And the verb to be in the present and in the past. We also looked at a little bit about, how to make the sentences into a negative form. For all of you out there, this should be really, really easy stuff at this level. If you have difficulties, you might be looking at a video that's a little bit too advanced, because honestly, we're going to start moving it up. We're going to step it up in the next video. In the next video, we're going to look at the question structures and the different forms of questions and the tenses. It's going to be quite heavy and it's going to be actually quite fast to do. See you then.